Welcome to our final video this month on occupational wellness from an external focus. Now, I had the pleasure of going to the Vibra Rehabilitation Hospital of Denver, talking with some amazing people and seeing what magic formula they use when focused on occupational wellness. The first question I asked, what is something you are really excited about in the rehab center here in Denver?
Yeah, so this is we call it our ADL apartment, or Activities of Daily Living apartment. I guess you could also call it your apartment for practicing your daily occupations, because they kind of are similar meaning. So this is where we bring patients to practice all the things that they want and need to do to get back to their lives. So right now I'm standing in the kitchen portion. So we have fully functioning, stovetop, oven, refrigerator, dishwasher, microwave. We have a teapot. We have a toaster, all the things that you might need to practice what you need to be able to do at home. We spend a lot of time with our patients in here. The other types of things we have in this apartment to practice on is we have a clothing rack that has a bunch of clothes on it that we can practice, picking stuff up off of a clothing basket, hanging them up on hangers, or folding and placing them on a table, like what you do at home. Say you have young children at home and you need to be able to take care of their laundry, or a spouse, or whatever. We also have a full functioning bathroom, which has a tub shower in it, which is our only tub shower in the facility because not everybody has a walk-in shower like maybe we would like in rehab. So we practice getting in and out of the tub and what equipment we might need to use in order to be able to achieve getting in and out of the tub. And let me tell you, if you are not able to shower, that's a big deal. So that's a really important one. That's an occupation that's very important to most people, is being able to take a shower. We also have a bed, which is a normal bed, because it's different getting in and out of a normal height bed than a hospital bed that raises and lowers and does all these fun tricks. And also being able to make the bed. If you live on your own, you're eventually going to need to wash your sheets and hopefully make your bed. I will say I'm not somebody who makes their bed every day, but some people do. But you're going to need to be able to strip the bed, wash it, put new sheets on it, and that can be quite challenging if you have any kind of physical limitation. Occupational wellness to me, I think, is how you're able to and how satisfied you are with the things that you want and need to do throughout the day. So I think a lot of people do think of occupational wellness as your job and job satisfaction, which is certainly a part of it. But your occupation could be lots of different things. It could be volunteer work. It could be, your ability to cook for your family. That might be your meaningful occupation. As an occupational therapist, we're always talking about meaningful occupations, and that could mean so many different things. So occupational wellness could be just your ability to do the things you need to do throughout the day and to gain a sense of pride, a sense of joy, a sense of accomplishment from those occupations. I think it can be really challenging at first, because sometimes people will come into this apartment and say, oh, I'm not going to have any trouble with that. And then they actually try it and go, whoa, okay, this is a lot different than maybe it was before my stroke, before my fall, before whatever it is they're here for. But it's really cool to be able to see people achieve those things with just a little bit of practice, a little guidance, maybe some equipment, some tips or tricks. I think back recently we had a lady who kept baby goats, like baby mountain goats. And one of her goals was to be able to feed her baby goats. So we had to think of, what we could use to mimic feed, and carrying a bucket with her mobility. She's going to lose her balance and fall? Like, what could we do to adapt that task? And that's what was really important to her, but not the first thing I would have thought of. So we do have pet bowls here because a lot of our patients have pets. We're in Colorado, a very dog-friendly state. So we do a lot of practice on, if you have hip precautions, spine precautions, how are you getting down to the floor to pick up that bowl? Could it be somewhere else? Or how are you going to get the food or the water into it? So it's all these little things that people don't always think about, but we want them to practice them here, to try them here. So that way we can set them up for success when they get home. And I think it's really rewarding to see people, maybe it was really challenging at first, but with that little bit of help, that little facilitation, which is really what we do, we're facilitators, we can make them be successful and confident going home. And that's probably the best part, is seeing that confidence grow. Yeah, I mean, it can be a challenge. Some days are definitely harder than others. We have challenging patients. We see a lot of really difficult cases. I always say that people don't come to inpatient rehab for fun. This isn't vacation. Not everybody wants to be here. But I think some of the ways that we cope as a team to achieve that occupational wellness, that sense of satisfaction in our jobs, is to really latch on to the positives, to find the good things, the things that, really remind you why you do what you do. So sometimes it's just focusing on the little wins. Sometimes it's, commiserating with each other, like, oh man, I just had this really difficult session. We did X, Y, and Z, and it just, nothing worked. But you can talk to your teammates about it and be like, oh, man, just that stinks. I hate when that happens. Did you try this, or what about this? And we collaborate and we talk a lot. And I think that peer support and that culture of, it's not a loss to have a bad session or to try something and have it fail. It's a learning opportunity. And it's, we go to the rest of our teammates and say, what have you done to get around this? Or do you have any other ideas? And I think that's one of the more exciting parts, because sometimes our most challenging patients really turn into our biggest successes. You just don't know it yet.
There's definitely something incredibly exciting about this team when it comes to occupational wellness and their dedication to patients. But they don't just work inside and celebrate their success. They also work outside as often as possible. So I asked, how important and why is it important to be outside when it comes to occupational wellness?
This is our outdoor therapy courtyard. So there's different surfaces. There's cobblestone, there's grass, there's curbs, there's ramps. It's an opportunity to practice therapy in a very functional way. What does somebody need to do to go home, to regain their life, to regain their activities, so we can practice and function in a real space? It's also outside, so it's a perfect opportunity to get people fresh air. Some of our patients have been in the hospital for a really long time, haven't even been able to get out into the sunshine, into the air. It's an opportunity to just take a deep breath, right? It helps with all the mental components of rehab and recovery, because recovery is not just about whether we can move our muscles, whether we can get up off of the seat. It's also about our mental ability to push forward, especially when many of our patients have had a trauma or an illness or an unplanned event. Your mental ability to push through and recover is as critical as the physical things that we do to help you get home. Well, first, I love it. I love lifestyle medicine. I like to help all of us understand that our jobs are hard, but our jobs are rewarding. And so if we create a culture of caring, a culture of trust, that we know we can manage through conflicts and manage through the challenging times, and that acknowledging that we're all going to have tough days, and how do we get through tough days and tough stories and tough outcomes? We celebrate the positive outcomes, which I love sharing, and I want our staff to celebrate those too, because it's not just our patients that work really hard, it's our staff that works really hard to help them be successful. And I want them to be able to acknowledge that. So I love when we celebrate our patients that are walking out the doors when they thought they wouldn't stand, they wouldn't make it home. There's often a lot of tears in that, and they're beautiful tears, right? And it helps fulfill our cup. It helps remind us why we're here. But then also knowing that when we have a bad day, it's okay to have a bad day. And that's when our other team members help pick the other people up. It's okay for me to say, wow, I'm having a tough time. And one of my team members to help me see the positive, help me pick myself back up. Because we can't always do it alone. And what I love about rehab is that we're a team. And it's a team of employees, it's a team of staff, and it's a team for our patients.
So we've talked about this before in occupational wellness, but one of the keys to occupational wellness is remaining positive and also having really clear goals. So I got a chance to go back and talk to Ashley some more about certain technologies they use to help patients set great goals. And these might be able to help you as well.
So this is our therapy gym. This is where patients spend a good majority of our time. We've got lots of different types of equipment, from really high tech to really analog, depending on what the patients need. But we have a nice big space with big windows. And so it's nice to be able to spend time in here, see other patients, other therapists, kind of collaborate. It's usually, depending on the time of the day, it can be a pretty hopping place. So this is one of my favorite programs to address visual scanning. Basically, it's going to have a dot that you're chasing around and having to find as quickly as possible. But at the end, in the glare.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. So it's going to tell me exactly how many hits, how many misses, and my reaction time. So this is really the one important thing that we like to keep an eye on for something like this, especially thinking about pre-driving, is reaction time, because you need to have a really quick reaction time when you're driving. So this actually goes up 4 levels with varying degrees of distractors and how quick it goes, and you have to pass each level to get to the next one. So luckily I passed. Evidently I'm fit to drive, so I could go on to level 2. So this is kind of a fun one for pre-driving. If everybody gets in a rut, I think that's something that we talk about a lot, is you get in this rut. You know, as a therapist, maybe you're doing the same treatment over and over and you think, you know, I just don't feel super motivated. And then it's like, okay, what goal can I set for myself that I can achieve that's going to motivate me to try something a little different, kind of reinvigorate my practice a little bit? Or, you know, it could be something simple like how you set up your day, how you organize things, or the things that you surround yourself with. You know, sometimes we talk about our patients, you know, we'll have them put photos in their rooms, or tell their families to bring in things that they enjoy, like a favorite blanket or something, you know, something that's going to make them feel comfortable. And that's something we do in our practice. Our charting room is all sorts of full of funny pictures and sayings and quotes and things that motivate us, that make us laugh, that bring us together as a team. You know, we do the same thing with our patients. We're telling them, get out of your room, get a change of scenery, go sit outside in our therapy courtyard for a little while. And all those tips and tricks are really transferable.
There are so many aspects of occupational wellness that are critical to our everyday lives, not just our patient care. Things like setting goals, staying positive, getting focused, and overall working together on occupational wellness. These are critical steps to take us to the next level of our wellness. Make sure to check out the podcast this month, where I talk more with Ashley and Julia about occupational wellness, and they give me some more inside secrets on how to really make this work.